order of operations with integers. So orders of operation is PEMDAS. Please excuse my dear Aunt Sally. So P stands for parentheses. Parentheses involve any grouping symbols. So we have parentheses in the middle, we have brackets, that's the straight lined, and then we have what they call fancy braces or fancy brackets. So all of these would be considered parentheses when you see them in your problem. Your second step is your exponents. So if you have any exponents, remember if you have an exponent, that means it's that number this many times multiplied by itself. So if I have x squared, that's like saying x times x. Over here I have 4 cubed, which means I'm multiplying 4 by itself 3 times. So 4 times 4 times 4, not 4 times 3. Multiplying and dividing, your rules, which we've talked about already. If they're the same signs, you add, or it's going to be a positive number. If they're opposite signs when you multiply, it's going to give you a negative. If they're the same sign when you divide, it's going to give you a positive. If they're opposite signs when you divide, it's going to give you a negative. Remember, if you have all multiplication and division steps left, you're working them left to right. You're not picking and choosing, because then your numbers won't come out correctly. And the last 2 steps are addition and subtraction. When you're talking about addition and subtraction, if they're the same signs, you're going to add them and then keep the original sign. If they're opposite signs, you're going to subtract and then you're going to keep the larger sign. If you need a refresher, refer back to my addition and subtraction of integers video. Again, if you have a bunch of addition and subtraction operations, you're going to work those left to right. Don't pick and choose which ones to do when. So let's work through a few examples. So if we look at example 1, I have 9 divided by 3 plus 2 times, that's what this parenthesis means, it means to multiply, 9 plus 10, subtract 8 plus 4 times 3. So our first thing is parentheses. Inside of my parentheses, I can combine those 2 pieces. So when I add them together, I get 19. Everything else stays the same. So my next step is exponents. I don't have any exponents, so I can skip that. Then I have multiply. As I'm looking left to right, I have multiplying and dividing. So I can divide these 2, I can multiply those 2, and I would have to multiply these 2. So 9 divided by 3 is going to give me 3. I still have my plus sign. 2 times 19 is going to give me 38. I still have my minus 8. I still have this plus sign. And then 4 times 3 is going to give me 12. Now I have my addition and subtraction. So as you can see, all of these that are left are addition and subtraction. So I'm just going to work it left to right. So 3 plus 38 is going to give me 41. Then I have my minus 8 plus 12. 41 minus 8 is going to give me 33. Then I'm going to add 12. So my final answer is going to be 45. If I look at example 2, I have 2 cubed minus 8 divided by 4 times 2 plus 7. So I don't have any parentheses, that's my first step. So now I'm going to do my exponents. 2 cubed is the same thing as saying 2 times 2 times 2. So 2 times 2 is going to give me 4. and then I have to multiply by 2 again, which is going to give me 8. So this is my 8. I still have minus 8 divided by 4 times 2 plus 7. So your next step is the multiplying and dividing from left to right. So that's these middle 3 terms. I have negative 8 divided by 4 times 2. So as I work that left to right, my first 8 stays the same. A negative 8 divided by 4 is going to give me a negative 2. I still have times 2 plus 7. So now, again, I'm going to multiply. My 8 stays the same. Negative 2 times 2 is going to give me a negative 4. And then I'm going to add 7. So now I have all addition and subtraction problems, so I'm just going to work them left to right. So 8 minus 4 is going to give me 4. I still have my plus 7, which is going to give me 11. And for example 3, again, orders of operation. I have parentheses, exponents, multiply, divide, and then add, subtract. So parentheses first, inside of my parentheses, I can solve this, which is going to give me a 4. I still have my squared divided by 4 at the end, and everything in front of it stays the same as well. My next step is exponents, because I can't do anything with this 4 yet. So when I do my exponents, you can do all exponents at the same time. So 9 squared is like saying 9 times 9, which is going to give me 81. I have plus 3 times 4 squared. 4 times 4 is going to give me 16, and then divided by 4. So now when I'm doing my next step, I can't do anything in parentheses. I no longer have exponents, so I'm going to multiply and divide left to right. So I have these 3 pieces that I'm going to work left to right one at a time. I still have my 81 plus 3 times 16 is going to give me 48, and then divided by 4. So now division again. So I have 81 plus, that plus sign comes down, 48 divided by 4 is going to give me 12. And now I simply add those two together, so I will get 93.